how you doing? Rev Fred here. So today I want to talk about choice. And so I want to give you Okay, so today's message has been brought to you by the letter A and the letter B. I'm going to bring you a choice today. You choose between A and B. So, I just wanted to be a little funny there for a second. Some people won't get it, other people will. But I want to bring you a description of what I find to be a ridiculous choice between A and B. And I'm going to break down the basics and the overarching understanding of both of these choices and lay out that it's a choice that we have to make in this life, which I don't really believe it is an actual choice, but it is a choice. So A is for atheism and B is for belief. So you have the choice between choosing in atheism or belief in God. I'm not getting into specifics about what belief. I'm a Christian, so that's the basis of the belief that I'm referring to, is belief in God as a Christian and how it breaks down in biblical sense. I've already made my choice, B. But let me just lay out the facts on both sides, and so you can actually make a choice. Okay? So let's start with A, atheism. So, atheism says that you are an accident, that the planet is an accident. It's a happenstance. This chemical and this chemical happened to collide together, which created a different chemical, which then eventually developed into a life form that eventually crawled out onto the earth and became a different life form that then evolved into a different life form that eventually evolved into what you are. And so you are a accident, a happenstance. You just happened to be created. No purpose, no reason, it just happened. You just exist. A lot of atheists also believe that we are actually a burden on the planet that we live on, and it groans from excess from what we've done to it and what we're doing to it and how we the planet itself wants to reject us and to cast us aside, and nothing would make the planet happier than for the majority of us to perish so it could breathe again. So that's part of what atheism believes. Okay, and it believes that we may have made up understandings about what our purpose is here and what we are trying to create. But the reality is, you are a tool being used by people at the top of a heap to produce more heap for them to be on top of. And you are a commodity that's being used to create other commodities that they determine has value, so they can get more and more and more of these commodities. And the only reason you exist is to perpetuate more commodities in their pockets. And the only reason they want to do that is because they want to control what you do, when you do it, what you eat, in order to achieve more power to control what you do, when you do it, what you eat, so they can have more power to control what you do, what you think, what you eat. Anyways, vicious cycle, I guess. And then at some point, when the system is finished with you and you've achieved your purpose of getting more commodities in the hands of the people who require your existence for that purpose, and when they've squeezed every economy out of you that they possibly, you have no purpose, you are then thrown into a hole in the ground, and the earth finally breathes a sigh of relief while you fertilize it. Atheism. You can choose to believe that if you want to, I guess. Some people say that it's not a choice, that's just the reality of the situation. And we, on the other side, who have belief, have created this concept of belief in order to give ourselves some way to feel happy about this life that we live in. This is atheism. That's what they believe, that belief is a construct that we've put in place in order to help us cope with what atheism says our life existence is all about. All right. So that's A. Now B. Belief. So, what is belief in God? What is that? How does that manifest itself? How does that show itself? Okay, let's go to the beginning. You have a creator. Your creator loves you so much that he has created this planet that you walk on. He's created all the animals that you consume that are used to bring you a greater purpose in life, to be able to produce more products and produce more life and to produce more love. He had you in his heart, and he loved you before you were even born onto this planet. And not only that, you were born on this planet at this specific time, in this specific place, for a specific purpose that he has for you. He wants to love you throughout your life. He wants to be there for you. He wants to encourage you. He wants you to know that you have a mission, you have a calling, you have a purpose, you have a reason to be here, that he is there to support you in that. And not only that, he wants you to be amongst people who have the same beliefs and purpose and mission, so you can collaborate to make things more efficient, to bless one another, to love one another, to encourage one another, so you can move things up. He wants you to have what they call discernment, so you'll know that you know that you know that there's a guy at the top of a heap, or a woman at the top of the heap, that is using you to produce more commodities for themselves in order to try to control this environment, and gives you that revelation and to show you how to cope with the situation, and how to understand and feel and believe and work through what is going on. And he wants you to be a part of this planet, to bring to this planet revelations about how things work in order to change the way we live our lives, to increase, to multiply, to take dominion over the planet, to help control the planet. Dominion doesn't mean just dominating. It means to make it better, to increase, to help the flow. and to recognize that it was created for you for this reason. For you to be here, to gain experience, to gain understanding, to gain wisdom. And yes, just like with the atheists, you're going to go through difficult things. But with belief, there's a purpose. There's a purpose. You are accumulating experiences and wisdom and knowledge that you will carry with you for eternity. You will add to the collective understanding about life. You will be able to be here and produce a future that people can stand on and to understand and encourage. You could walk through your life with this kind of peace and joy, even in the midst of the suffering that everybody is, and we're all going to go through difficulties, but you can have peace and joy and happiness, even though you're going through the struggles, you're going through difficulties. And when you die, you get to go to the place where the Creator is, and you get to sit with Him and be with Him forever and never, ever, ever be forgotten. Always existing, always being part of the collective, always being part of the whole. Over here, you pass away, and within 50 years, nobody knows who you were, what you did. Over here, you last forever. Okay. This is the basics of understanding about A or B, atheism or belief. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not really sure if you could even say it's a choice, because if you really think about it, it's not really much of a choice. The interesting thing is, like, the reality as far as I see it is that B is the actual truth. It's the reality of our existence. But somebody created A. Now, A would say it is the reality and somebody created B. But I say B is the reality and somebody created A. But like, if B is the reality, because let's just say, for example, I don't believe in either one of them and I'm making a choice. Let's just say A is the reality, and this is exactly what existence is, and somebody created B. Well, I would choose B. Even if A is reality, I would still choose B. Why would I choose B? Because B gives me hope. B gives me peace through the situation. Even if B is not true, by the end of my life, I could accept the fact that I lived my life in a way that was peaceful and more understanding and more free because of my belief in B than I would be if I just accepted A as the reality. But let's just say B is the reality, and then somebody created A. Why? Who would buy A? If B is the reality, who would even buy A? Who would even look at A and go, yep, yeah, I believe in A. I think A is the way to go. You know, oh yeah, okay, B is the reality, but A is the way to go, because really, I don't really want to believe that I have a reason or a purpose for existence. I want to be a burden on society and the planet in whole. Wait a second, you want A? No, I don't think anybody wants A. I think people have been convinced that A is the reality because people convince other people that A is the reality. And with the reality, for a very, 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 very long time, since forever, B was the reality. But somebody created A. Now, if I was to... let's just say, who Who would want to create A if B was the reality? Well, it would have to be somebody who wants you to feel negative about B, negative about God, negative about this stuff. We'll say, why would you want people to not want to believe in the reality of that God exists and he created everything for you? Why would you want them to believe that everything is not necessary, not worthy, your life is unimportant, you end up going to be dead in the ground, and you're not going to be remembered, and nothing is of any use? Well, B also has the answer to that. B has an understanding in the Bible that says there is this creature that was cast out of heaven, and his name was Lucifer, Satan, and he hated God. And also, he hated the creation of God, us. And all he wants to do is steal, kill, and destroy. What is he stealing? What is he killing? What is he destroying? He's stealing your belief in B. He doesn't want you to believe in God. He's stealing that from you. He's killing your relationship with God. He doesn't want you to have a relationship with God. In fact, he wants to take you with him into the pit of hell where he has to go at the end. He is only here to take you away from God. That's the only explanation why anybody would create A. To make you feel like you're separate. To make you feel like you're alone. To make you feel like you have no purpose. There's no meaning for it. And one day you'll die and nobody will care. Only something evil would create that. Only something evil would create that. So you have a choice, A or B. Not much of a choice, as far as I'm concerned. Unfortunately, I would have to say that for majority of my life, I picked A. I picked A. And you know why I picked A? I picked A because it was just easier. Because B comes with responsibility. B comes with the understanding that you have to open your eyes. You have to see things for the reality that it is, and not the construct that somebody created or something created. Yeah. A or B, you choose. I chose B. It's a choice. It is a choice. Even though B is the reality and A is the created construct that takes away the reality in order for you to fall away from the creator of the universe who loves you, you still have to choose. So this is the second part of this message, is what are you choosing? What are you choosing? I believe what you're choosing is the hero's journey. I believe what you're choosing is to be brave and not to be a coward hiding in the basement somewhere where there's no wisdom and no understanding and no willingness. And you no longer want to just have these images passing in the front of your face, randomly playing virtual worlds that have no impact in the world at all. And you want to stop, and you want to get yourself out of the matrix. You may not have a plug in the back of your head yet, but you have a plug. You have something wireless. We are in this matrix of this world that we live in. I'm using the matrix right now to record this in order to put it out into the system. The matrix, in order to send a message to those out there who are looking for the truth, who are going to look for that little cursor that goes plink, 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 plink in the corner, saying, do you want to be free? Do you want to be free? But you have to stop for a minute. You have to stop filling your eyes with the things that are trying to control you, to make you as docile as possible, to make you fall into a pattern of this world I can see, that family is my family. That thing that I'm looking at on my TV is not my reality, but it is a reality, and I will happily fall in love with that person and look at that as my family and my friends and my unit of understanding. And they believe like I believe, and they think like I think, or just for a second, maybe you are being taught to believe like they believe. You don't believe like they believe. Maybe you believe how they believe. Maybe that's the point of it. Maybe that's why there's an inundation of information that comes from all kinds of other places except for B. Maybe they're trying to make you feel like you don't want to get out of that chair and go outside. You'd rather be in this world where it's safe. You don't have to think about what's the point of my life. So I'm calling you right now. Be brave. We need you. We need you. There is ways to break the control. There is ways to get past the programming. There's ways to be dehypnotized so you're not falling into the same patterns that you are expected to fall into, so I can keep you placid and purchasing and consuming and not making a difference. They don't want you to make a difference. They don't want you to be free. You are dangerous. Just look around. This is my advice to you. Look around. Check out videos, people who are preaching the gospel or talking about freedom. Check it out. How much they fear them. How much they need to repress that voice. Why? They don't want you to be free, man. They don't want you to be free. They want you to be stuck in that pattern, consuming, existing, not producing, not creating. There's a reason why they putting the agendas in play to stop the evolution of us, to stop the understanding that we are. So I'm asking, out of requirement to you, check it out. Know that you have a choice. Not much of a choice. This created by a created being that hates you. This, the reality of a God who loves you. Not much of a choice, but it is a choice. And the interesting thing about the two is that you literally need to choose this one. This will almost be the basic thing that happens without consequence. Because this is a choice. This is the reality, but it's also the choice. Because unless you choose God and choose a Lord and a Savior, you will have a Lord, but not a Savior. My suggestion is to choose wisely and be courageous. It is not going to be easy to break the programming. It's not going to be easy. If you want purpose in your life, if you want a mission for your life, if you want to know who you really are, choose B. Takes a brave person to choose it, though. The road to destruction is wide, and many walk down it. The road to freedom is so narrow, and few choose it. Why? Responsibility. You have to take responsibility for the way you think, the way you act. A lot of people don't want responsibility. They would prefer that I take responsibility and they could just sit back and not worry about it. Unfortunately, that only works for me. I can only take responsibility for me. I can't take responsibility for you. Oh, be brave. Be brave. Be willing to dig into this. Be willing to pull back all those layers of programming, all those layers of hypnotism that we walk in. Be brave. Whoa, it's a wonderful life when you do it. It comes with all kinds of purpose and meaning, and community, love, peace, joy, compassion. But it is hard as hell. Because you have to remove all that hell that's been placed in you. Move towards heaven. I love you so very much. So very much. Please hear me. Please hear me. You need to be free. You need to be free. We need you to be free. We need you in our family. We need you. Come. You have been born at this time, in that place you are in, for a reason. For a reason. Wouldn't you like to know what that reason is? Wouldn't you like to know what kind of ground you can hold? How many people you can set free from the matrix? What if your job is to be Neo? What if your job is to be Christ around you? To set people free from this atheism that is causing people to commit suicide because they have no hope. They have no understanding that they have purpose. Because they're following directions created by a creature that hates them. Be free. Be free. Don't let this world convince you that you are useless, that you have no purpose, because that's what it wants to convince you, that you have no purpose, except for to perpetuate their wants and their needs in order to bring more widgets to the widget king at the top of the heap. Be brave and know that in the hero's journey, there's conflict and there's battle and there's war. But it develops the character of the hero that goes through it. So at the end, they will make the decision to protect and to serve, instead of being aggressive. I love you. Bye-bye.